The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has stated that the legacy of late President Muhammadu Buhari will continue to inspire Nigerians as family members, associates and political leaders converged at the Nigerian Army Conference Center in Abuja to mark the first anniversary of the passing of the late President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In his tribute to the late President Muhammadu Buhari, which was delivered by the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, President Tinubu eulogized his predecessor, describing him as a man who served with courage and conviction, who became an embodiment of change. President Tinubu also commended him for his selfless service to the nation, describing the late president as a strategic partner who shared a passion for a renewed Nigeria, as he expressed the federal government's commitment to continue to honor the lasting legacy of President Buhari.
Let me acknowledge and appreciate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his loyalty and support, and in keeping with the faith, friendship and camaraderie that punctuated his relationship with late President Muhammadu Buhari. And this is the President's speech. What survives us after the last prayer has been said and the earth has closed over a man is not simply the memory of what he did. It is the weight of that memory, the pressure it exerts on the conscience of those who remain. We are gathered here today, 1 year after the passing of former President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, because the life he lived is not a life this nation is capable of forgetting. He has entered the consciousness of Nigeria, and it is in the nature of such men that their memory outlives the living. So we assemble, not out of obligation, but out of the necessity of reflection, to consider again what President Buhari meant to us as a friend, as a leader, as a father, as a husband, and as a citizen of this great country. President Buhari and I were co-travelers on the long road of politics and national development. We walked together through seasons of difficulty and seasons of hope. We shared a deep and abiding passion for a renewed, progressive, and prosperous Nigeria, a nation held together by brotherhood, settled in peace, and generous enough in its abundance that no citizen is left outside the cycle of his promise. He gave everything he had to this country, and he gave it without reservation. He served with courage. He served with conviction, and with a patriotism that never asked what the nation could return to him. From his years as a military leader to his transformation into a democrat and a determined defender of constitutional order, he embodied the very spirit of change and of nation building. Few men are permitted 2 lives in the service of one country. He was given that rare permission, and he used it well. I want to say something about him that we do not say often enough. Power ordinarily exhausts the affection of the governed. That is a common pet of office, and every one of us who has carried it understands the cost. Yet, when he laid down the burden of leadership, and through all the years of his retirement, and in his final months when illness had taken the strength from his body, the trust of ordinary Nigerians did not depart from him.
Past and serving political leaders also paid tributes to the memory of the late president as they commended his service to the nation.
But, of course, we thought, can we try to bring where they are, so that we can at least express our sorrow and condolence. But of course, it was not possible because we were very busy.
We remember a leader whose convictions shaped the decisions he took, whose sense of duty remained unwavering, and whose commitment to the Nigerian state define his years in public service.
Being somebody who has no sense of entitlement, who believes everything should be earned, he conveyed to us in no clear terms that he will not intervene if we do not get our act together.
President Buhari never regarded the suffering of Borno as a distant national issue. He regarded it as a personal responsibility and a collective duty of government. His numerous visits to our state, even under difficult security circumstances, offered reassurance to our people that they had not been forgotten.
While many have rightly extolled his integrity, his honesty and patriotism, President Muhammadu Buhari was above all a true humanist. He was a leader who constantly prioritized empathy, compassion, and the fundamental well-being of others in every action he took.
The event also featured the unveiling of a book of tributes and condolences in honor of the memory of the late President Muhammadu Buhari. Olumide Abiodun Mudashiru, reporting for PFM Global News.